What's going on, everyone? So something that I want to talk about is the size of the Lakers. I've briefly touched on it, in videos like talking like Lakers are a big team, right? But I really want to kind of go in more in depth in that regard because that's going to be one of the Lakers' biggest advantages amongst most of the teams. Obviously, there are some teams that can match up well. Look at a team like Denver, right, where they have a bunch, 6'5" to 6'9" guys, right? Aaron Gordon, Cam Johnson, even though they lost Michael Porter Jr., Cam Johnson's still, 6'8", 6'9". So, he's still got some height and some size to him. But one of the reasons the Lakers have matched up so well against teams like OKC is because OKC is a bunch of, 6'3" to 6'6" guards. I mean, even against Denver, they were running like four guards with like Jalen Williams at the 5, and he's like 6'6", 6'7", right? So again, Lakers, because of their size, especially with Luka, right? Now you have Luka as your primary ball handler. He's like 6'7", right? So he can see over the defense. He can see over most defenders, right? And then you look at things like, let's take the starting unit, at least the starting unit that we all kind of believe it will be. You have Luka Doncic, who's 6'7". You have Austin Reeves, who's 6'5". Right? From there, you have Rui Hachimura, who's 6'8". You have LeBron James, who's 6'9", and Deandre Ayton, who's 7 feet. Right? So, again, the smallest guy in your starting unit is Austin Reeves at 6'5", which is good size for a guard. Right? Like, that's great size for a guard. Right? So, Lakers are big in the starting unit. Concern is, right, obviously is the defensive side of the ball because you don't have the athletes. You don't have the athleticism. You have the defense, you don't have the athleticism. Right? Or not the defense, the size, sorry. You have the size, not the athleticism. The defense, right, that will kind of depend on how much effort and energy are people willing to buy in. Now that Luka is a little more, slimmed and lost 31 pounds and he's looking more mobile and athletic there, not expecting him to be this like clamps defensive stopper, but can he buy in defensively? Right? He's always been really good at reading passing lanes and getting a hand on the ball and stuff. Right? He's more crafty than people think. You give him credit for defensively. He's just not that like, slap the floor, right? Lock in, like, defensive type of guy. If he can just be serviceable, Austin Reeves, look, and I'm one of the first people to criticize Austin Reeves. I mean, I've been labeled an Austin Reeves hater because I criticize Austin Reeves so much, right? But he's had good defensive stands, right? He's had good defensive stretches, right? So if he could buy in defensively, Rui Hachimura towards the back end of the season actually was really buying in and was much better defensively. Can he do that? Playoffs, he really kind of tanked. But also, Minnesota's one of the more athletic teams, which is where I worry about the athleticism. But LeBron James, we've seen buy in and be a defensive anchor. You've seen DeAndre Ayton with like the Phoenix Suns actually be a defensive anchor, right? So I do think that there is a potential where they're not going to be like the best defense, but that they'll be good enough and their offense will be so great that they'll be one of the top teams in a true contender. But even go further, right? You look at the bench. You still have a bunch of tall guys off the bench, right? Like you look at Jake Laravia, who's 6'7", 6'8". Jared Vanderbilt, 6'7", 6'8". You got Jackson Hayes, who's, 7 feet. Marcus Smart is 6'3", but he has that 6'9" wingspan, right? Like Dalton Connect is 6'7", right? You go down the list. Adu Thero is 6'8", right? The only guys that are really like small are like Gabe Vincent, who's like 6'2", 6'3", if we're being nice, right? Bronny James, same thing, 6'2", 6'3", if we're being nice, right? Outside of that, everyone else is huge, right? Lakers are a big team. That's to their strengths and their advantages. Right? Like Lakers have, like even last year, Lakers were a big team. The problem was they weren't big at the center position, right? They lacked the center depth and rotation, and Jackson Hayes was the only guy. So it's really going to be reliant on DeAndre Ayton. Oh, I didn't even mention Maxi Kleber. I should probably mention Max Kleber. He's 6'10", 6'11", right? So again, Lakers have a lot of size, a lot of length, which is good because it gives the Lakers different options and lineup rotations and configurations, right? Like something that I talk about all the time is the teams that are going to have the best success are the teams that can be most chameleon-like, right? Like OKC on several occasions should have lost. Like what happens if Tyrese Halliburton doesn't get hurt, right? And Denver, if they had more than 4 healthy players, they probably beat them too, right? They probably, you should argue that they should have beaten them, right? But you look at a team like Indiana, they were able to be very chameleon-like. Right? They go up and match up against a team like OKC. They were like, okay, you guys want to run 4 guards and a 6'6", 6'7" guy at the center position? Okay, fine. We'll just put Pascal Siakam, who's 6'9", at the center position and go 4 bigger guards and just matched up perfectly. When they play bigger teams, okay, we can go with, Thomas Bryant and Miles Turner, right? We can go with the Pascal Siakam and a Miles Turner, right? Like, they could match. Okay, you want to go that? Okay, well, we could have, 3, 6'8" guys. Like, they were very chameleon-like. They were able to match throughout the course of the season. Lakers can do a lot of the same things, but also on a bigger scale, right? My concern really is just the athleticism, and I might do a video later just kind of breaking down the athleticism on this team and lack thereof, because that's really my concern, right? Like, part of the reasons and issues that they had with Minnesota was just Minnesota's athleticism. Right. And even a team like OKC, the reason like they were so good is because, yeah, they have a bunch of, like I said, 6'3" to 6'6" guards, but they're all athletic. They just come in waves, right? They're just like swarming teams. You're standing there and you're just getting it from every side. It's like a swarm of bees. You're just like, wow, like, you're slapping them away. Just more and more are coming. Like, that's kind of, it was like that hive approach where it's just like, boom, you're going to, like, all the ball handlers are just being swarmed. Difference is you have a guy like Luka who he's just bigger than all those guys. Right, so you can breathe to him. He's just, stop, knock it off, right? It's like, now you're adding a flamethrower to fighting off the bees, right? That's what Luka is. He can get to his spots better. He can bump these guys around, right? Lakers need to maximize their size. And part of that is, team rebounding. They need to do a better job of team rebounding, right? They need to make sure that they're taking advantages of the mismatches. There's going to be mismatches every night on the basketball court. And the Lakers, the good thing is you have so many guys that can hit shots and create shots and whatnot that gives you advantage points. And sometimes it's not even just in a size advantage. Sometimes it's just, even in Austin Reeves, where it's like he has the 4th best defensive guy on him or the 5th best defensive guy on him. Give him the ball and let him cook, right? Like, let him torch these guys. Don't make him just relegate and bail out the defense. Make that guy have to defend him. And if he does, you make the adjustment. If he does, especially in the regular season, Reeves is going to be able to get the whistle and stuff like that. It's the playoffs that are the concern with Austin Reeves. But in the regular season, he's going to be able to cook and do those things, right? But sometimes it is the bigger guy. Sometimes it is like, hey, Rui has a 6'6", 200-pound guy on him. Put him on the block. Dump the ball down to him. Let him bully his way to the basket. Don't just bail out that small defender and just leave Rui Hachimura just relegated to be a catch-and-shoot three-point shooter, right? Maximize your opportunities. Take advantage and find those mismatches. Sometimes it is just through the natural course of the offense, right? It's Luka bringing the ball. He's cooking. Defense collapses. Easy lob threat. Boom. And it's like, hey, it worked. Do it again. Right? Sometimes it is just Luka bringing the ball up, Deandre Ayton setting the screen and then slipping, and then it's just easy bounce pass. And it's like, hey, don't get off of that. If you run 4 straight plays and DeAndre Ayton's just yamming on him every time, perfect, right? Do it again. Do it again, right? Like, we've seen with Darvin Ham, not as much with JJ Redick, but still with JJ Redick at times, of like a play working. And it's not just like a Lakers coaching thing. You see this all the time, even guys like Kerr and Sproul and all these guys, which I don't really understand, right? Like, and look, I'm obviously not an NBA head coach, so maybe there's reasoning behind it. But to me, if a play is working and it's killing, right, keep doing it until they figure it out. And then once they figure it out, then make the adjustment, right? But a lot of times you'll see a play like a pick and roll, right? Like, D'Lo, Anthony Davis pick and roll was like the best offensive play in basketball, and we only ran it like twice a game. It's like, why? What are we doing here? Like, keep giving, like, make the team have to figure it out. Make the team have to stop it. And when they do stop it, then you make the adjustment. Okay, now let's run this action, right? They're going to be expecting the pick and roll, right? It's just like you see it in football all the time. Like, you see a team just like do like 10 running plays because the guy's getting 3 yards a carry. Right? We've seen entire sequences of football where a team just goes all the way down the field and it's just like they had like 1 passing play in like 12 plays. And it's because, like, they can't stop the run. Give them the ball, let them run, right? Like, I don't know why teams in the NBA don't do that more. Like, it's like they get away. one Darvin Ham credit, just one. Now, Darvin Ham, I defended Darvin Ham at times. He had his moments. He wasn't a good coach, but he had his moments, right? One of those moments was the in-season tournament, right? The in-season tournament, he just put LeBron James and Anthony Davis. This was against Indiana, right? Put LeBron James and Anthony Davis on the block and just ran everything through them. And Indiana had no answer. And to his credit, he didn't switch it up. To his credit, he just like, hey, go ahead. Right? Like, and part of that was Darvin Ham just like, and I talked about, like, would be in this box. And as long as he could stay in his box, he looked like a great coach. Right? I mean, look at that Golden State series. Look at that Memphis series. Like, he looked like the better coach. But it's because he never had to leave his box. And then he ended up playing against Denver, and Denver was just able to match up better, and he had to leave his box, and he just didn't know what to do. Right? Like, but sometimes, like, that is I like JJ and his adaptability. We have seen JJ Redick go into games, right? The plan is not working, and he'll just abandon it and move on to a new one. All right, he'll call the timeout, get guys in and go, okay, and you'll see them run completely different actions coming out of the timeout. And he's really good at drawing up the ATOs and stuff, right? Like, so he's a guy that is able to be chameleon-like and adapt. But also, I want to see them maximize on those things, take advantage of those things, right? Really kind of make sure that you'll have mismatches. Lakers last few seasons have had mismatches on several occasions. I thought JJ did a much better job of maximizing those, especially with Anthony Davis in particular, right? One of the big issues with Darvin Ham was the lack of Anthony Davis involvement, right? JJ, I mean, there was a stretch where Anthony Davis before injury was averaging like 28 a game, right? And was having like an MVP level season. And a lot of that was JJ Redick running through Anthony Davis because most times he was, the mismatch. And then when teams would make the adjustment, JJ would do something else. So I'm hoping that JJ kind of continues with that philosophy of like, hey, the Luka Ayton pick and roll is killing this team. Do it again, right? Luka brings the ball up, looks at JJ. Do it again, right? Like, okay, boom, and just keep doing it. Keep hammering them. If your offense is, LeBron flash it and then slip it, run that. If it's Luka, because the guy defending him just has no hope, right? Like, Luka drops 8 straight points, go drop 16, right? Maximize the mismatch. Lakers have the size advantage to most teams. Right? Like, most teams want a team built like the Lakers. I mean, you saw Toronto, and they're still in a lot of ways trying to build that same team. A bunch of like 6'7" versatile guys that can defend multiple positions, right? Like, JJ Redick likes the size because he can just switch 1 through 5 because everyone on the court is 6'7", 6'8". So everybody on the court can defend everybody. And you have the size and length and stuff. Problem is they lack the athleticism, which is the concern. But Lakers need to make sure that they're taking advantage of their size because more often than not, almost every night, they're going to have that size advantage at least somewhere, right? What other team can match up with the 6'7" Luka Doncic? I mean, they can, if they're bringing in, the 8th guy off the bench to start and stuff. But I'm talking about, like, most starting units aren't going to have the size that the Lakers have. Maybe they make that adjustment at some point and they go with like a bunch of 6'8". But more often than not, like, most teams' point guards are going to be, 6'3" to 6'5". Right? And then shooting guards are going to be 6'4" to 6'6". And then, so again, like, Lakers have those advantages all across the board. Maximize them. Lakers are a big team, and that's to their advantage. And now they have the size on the interior, which is good too. I'd still kind of like, another center. I'd like, even if it's a Robert Williams or something, just like that big, like, bull in a china shop guy. But as long as Ayton's healthy and fine, which, knock on wood, then, him, Jackson Hayes, and Max Kleber, I think will be fine. Lakers will run some small ball, which it's not even small ball, it's mid ball. Right? Because again, Lakers could literally run a unit with all 6'8" guys, except for like Luka Doncic. Like, you could literally go Luka Doncic at 6'7", Jared Vanderbilt at 6'8", Jake Laravia at 6'8", Adu Thero at 6'8", or Rui, and LeBron James or Rui at 6'8", 6'9", at the center position. And literally, how many teams could do that? And actually, it's good, right? Like, there's teams that can throw out a bunch of 6'8" guys, but it doesn't mean it's going to be good. Right? How many teams have two guys that are that are taller than 6'5" that can handle the basketball to the level and scale that Luka and LeBron can? Right? So take advantage, maximize that. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion at Pascal you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me not. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.